Okay, so we are live on YouTube, and I can't seem to get.
Hello, 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 everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Hola.
everyone. So we are in three parts of the world today. Two parts of Quebec, Montreal.
Okay, so we are live on YouTube.
Where are you from, Tetsu? What's the name of your little city? Hello, 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 everyone. Bromont. And our friends on the bottom of the screen are from. So we are in three parts of the world today. Cholula, parts of Quebec, Montreal. And Anja is originally from Mexico. I guess she's pretty much a world traveler. She looks very Mexican. There are some blonde Mexicans, but so I think
She looks like that.
She's originally from Germany, now lives in Mexico, and we are very happy to have her today as a guest on our Facebook Live.
She's pretty much a world traveler.
LangFest has a Facebook Live every Friday at 12 p.m. and we have two guests, two for the price of one today, because Nayeli, who's also at the school where Anja is teaching, is joining us to talk a little bit about a special program that they have running this summer. But you probably do it throughout the year, or is it just a very special event that you're doing right now, Anja and Nayeli?
So, well, all the time actually, but this special program is just for this summer because it also includes accommodation and it also includes like opportunities to travel at the same Spanish classes. But this summer, it's like the whole package.
That's cool. That's cool. So when you talked to me about the fact that you were running this Spanish immersion program a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was a really, really interesting topic, and I was very excited to be able to have the opportunity to learn more about it, to let people, our followers from LangFest, know about it. Many, many years ago, when I didn't have gray hair, I had a little language school also in South America, and we did the same thing. We received gringos that wanted to learn Spanish, and we gave English classes, mostly English classes, but occasionally there was some lost soul that would pass by our little city, and he would come and we'd give him the whole immersion experience. So I'm really a big proponent of it. I think it's great, and we can use today's forum, today's Facebook Live, basically to talk about it, the benefits of taking part in this kind of adventure, being part of the environment, learning where you're forced, in a sense, to learn. I should do that for German. I don't know if they have German immersion, but I need to do that, Anja. But either way, it's great. And on another note, I saw that on top of Spanish and English, you also have, correct me if I say it properly, Tzotzil, which is the language, sort of a regional language, regional indigenous language, which is spoken there. I saw on your Instagram that you had a post about weekend classes that you have in that language, which I thought was very interesting. And I don't know if you run these throughout the whole year, but I'm looking for something to do around Christmas time this year, and it would be fun maybe to go in your area and with Mariuxi and to learn Tzotzil or just live a different Christmas. Anyways, so enough talking from me.
Great.
I want to give the chance to Nayeli and to Anja to talk to us about this.
Sure. Thank you very much for having us today. I think it's really cool for us to have the chance to describe a bit this experience. As you said, it's going to be a really interesting project. There are 2 weeks or 4 weeks of Spanish immersion. We are going to try to speak Spanish in the real life situations. So it's going to be very interesting also to share our culture and all the things that we do here in Cholula. It's a very special town. That's also why it's very, very interesting. As Anja described, we are going to have the chance to travel around Mexico. And as you say, it's kind of like forcing to learn the language because you need to speak Spanish to travel around here. So it's going to be very interesting. We are going to have different levels. It's going to be for everybody. If you're a beginner in Spanish, if you have more or less intermediate level, or also if you are an advanced level, we will teach you how to communicate with locals, to know a bit of the slang that we talk here. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited that I think it's a great opportunity to do it here. So we invite everybody to come to Cholula and to come to Mexico to do this program with Saloa.
Yeah, and I think what is very, very special, and this is also, I mean, I've been living in Mexico now for 4 years, and I think what is like extremely special about where we do it is that it's not like just a beach town where you go surfing every day, which is also nice, definitely. But here, what you find here, Cholula is Mágico, which is a magical town. And it's actually true. It's full as well. And the best is that it's tourists. There is also a lot of tourists, but like we have here the biggest pyramid of the world. Who would have thought that way from our school? And yeah, it's like really what we call this immersion program.
Okay. One second, please.
To the local market, getting a haircut or Spanish teachers, or doing like live, learning how to do it in Spanish. And I think this is what makes this program very, very special. And yeah, as a foreigner, I mean, I wouldn't have been here for 4 years already if I wouldn't like it. You can hear it, for example, it's always noisy in my class. So they come around and wake you up from 7 o'clock in the morning on. Sometimes you hear it, the gas, el gas. Yeah, it's just very, very different, especially Canada or the US or a European country. So yeah, I think this is definitely great. Well, I know the guys from LangFest very well. I enjoy a lot everything they do on social media. Also, I went last year to Montreal for the LangFest, and that is so great that we said like all of the LangFest would also receive a discount. So it's a 500 pesos extra discount if you put in the subscription LangFest Montreal. So I think this is very great as well, a great opportunity as well.
We are going to make sure to capture all of those things. And I think there might be some internet problems or things like that, because sometimes it seems to freeze or break up. So all of the important notes, like about your school and things like that, we're going to make sure to add it in our comments and things like that for this event. So either way, what did I capture? I captured you've been there for 4 years. It's close to the beach, but it's also a very nice city with so many other things to do. There's the biggest pyramid. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes. The biggest pyramid of the world.
And what is it called?
The town is called Cholula.
I know, but the pyramid, is it, it's not Chichen Itza?
No, the name is La Gran Pirámide, the Great Pyramid.
La Gran Pirámide, okay. It's self-explanatory, La Gran Pirámide. That's it. Where is Cholula? It's in the south of Mexico?
No, actually, it's really in the center of Mexico. We are very close to Mexico. probably 2 hours from the state is Puebla, and Cholula is one of the main cities in Puebla. It's
Okay.
close also to the main town that is Puebla.
Yeah, the city of Puebla. It's a very, very known colonial city, very well known in Mexico. What was I going to say? I can honestly say that I'm very happy that everything is going well at your school and that we have the opportunity to talk to you today. I know there was a very big earthquake last year in October in your area, and Tetsu and I were kind of worried about you, and we're happy that you're doing fine and you still have your teeth, all your hair, and everything is great, and life is going on, and you have your school, and now you're moving forward. So I know that part of the proceeds from what you're doing right now is going to go to some kind of relief fund that you have for this, right?
Yes, we have a program in a little town called Osalco, and we sent there teachers to teach people from the town English for free. So we don't charge them anything. It's about 1 hour away from here, and I think this is an interesting part for those who would like to do the immersion program with us, to like visit this town as well. People there are so lovely and they're so happy, and I think they would be extremely happy to show also what they have learned in their English classes already. You know, they can have like a basic conversation in English, and they're super, super proud. And it makes us proud as well, obviously. And yeah, so part of our profits that we make here always go to this project. We're also hoping for more projects. More towns ask us. Every time we go there, the local way with little buses, and obviously, at least for me, they see that I'm not Mexican, and they always ask me, so what do you do here? Why are you with us on the bus? And every time I explain to them about the project and everything, they say, oh, we would like the same for our town. And yeah, there is definitely a huge demand, and we would like to expand this project as well. Obviously, yeah, it's step by step, obviously, as well.
So
Yeah.
that's very good.
Really nice.
It's good to be able to give back.
Yes,
Exactly.
I really
And
want
it's
to
also very
stress.
interesting. I'm sorry. It's also very interesting because in this small town they speak dialect. This is called Nahuatl. It's one of our main dialects here in Mexico. So it's also some program that we have that we want to teach this Nahuatl language here in Taloa to continue this tradition because it's getting lost and lost with the time.
Yeah, I'm sure there's less and less speakers as Spanish becomes more or less the main language of communication. All those minor languages that are spoken only by small pockets of population tend to disappear with time. Tetsu had something that he wanted to say.
No, I was trying to say that everything that you guys do, you know, it's really aligned with the social responsibility aspects of you know the language community. Last year, we had our full lineup of speakers when Anja reached out to me, and I still wanted to make a space for that because you know, we're really aligned in that sense that we want to make sure that LangFest can contribute in some way, even just as a platform for folks like yourself to be able, you know, not just to use languages as a translator or other professions, but to find a way to let folks who want to, you know, to contribute like you guys do, you know, socially. I think it's a great thing, and it's really aligned with what we want to do, Joey and I. So bravo to you again for that, and you know, we encourage you to continue in that direction.
Yeah, we definitely will. But also because it's not only, I mean, we don't really feel it as a responsibility, even though it would be like part of so-called social responsibility. But for us, it's just like giving something back that we also get from others, which is very, very important to us as well. Me, for example, being a foreigner here in Mexico, like way people are here is just so nice. I imagine that this would be similar or in a European country, to be honest. And people help me so much, like every time, and they still help me every time I need more, especially in the beginning when I didn't know the language. They helped me much, and this is also something of like giving back. Education is not only for kids but also for adults the key to grow. And those villages here, for example, they do a lot of like handcraft work, which is lovely, and they have huge potential to sell it also outside of Mexico. But of course they would need English to be able to do business outside of Mexico. Aim not only to teach them for fun, but also that in the end, maybe 1 or 2 years, they are able to maybe start selling also outside of Mexico their handcrafted work, which is lovely, to be honest.
Yeah, and from my Mexican point of view, I know how difficult it is for us to get a language education or proper language education. It's not really common here, it's not our culture, it's not for everybody. So normally these people are struggling with money and with the very basic needs. They don't have the chance to learn a new language or English.
So one person at a time, but you make a difference in the lives of many, I'm sure. Important questions with pertaining to the Spanish immersion course. Okay, so how many hours a week do they have? It's 4 or 5 hours a day. What is it? I imagine it's fairly intensive.
Yeah, actually, there are going to be 6 hours per day.
6 hours?
Monday to, yes, very intensive. Yes, from Monday to Thursday, we are leaving Friday free because...
To recuperate from the 6 hours per day. They need it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, but the idea is that they are going to leave Mexico already talking Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think important to add here that it's not like, I mean, 6 hours, oh, I will be for 6 hours in the classroom. This is not the case because, well, when you get to know Zaloa, a little bit behind like how we teach, it's also part like being in the classroom, definitely, but it's like going out, going to the local market, discovering the pyramid, and the teacher gives you an exercise, talk to local people, ask for directions, how to get to a restaurant, whatever. So it's like a lot being outside, and it doesn't feel like 6 hours of classes at all. Like I did it myself, so I know it's not at all like, oh my God, I can't anymore. It's more like, this is really fun, and you're outside, we'll do a picnic with our students outside. Yeah. We take them to different places, grab a coffee, cook together. So it's like really different things.
Yeah, it's very practical. It makes people talk, live the language more than just fall asleep learning. I'm not good at just regurgitating language. I have to live it.
Me neither.
The way that you do it is the best way to learn. It makes it fun. There's a lot of breaks, but they learn a lot at the same time, putting things in context. So that's good. 6 hours a day. Their day is pretty full after that, and I'm sure there's small groups. What's the maximum size of your classes? How many students do you have per class? 5. So there's a lot of interaction.
A lot. This is, we always say this, like have to speak from the first class on. It's very, very important. And we want to get to know our students. This is why we always limit the groups to 5 people. Important, like somebody might be interested in, I don't know, Mexican music. Others might be interested in sports or whatever. So we also adapt a lot to this, actually.
I think that's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a great program. And, you know, I mean, we're not associated in any way, but I encourage people in a very strong way to take part in this experience. I think it's really, when you take part in an immersion program like that, it's life-changing. Some of the students that I had at my school 20 years ago, I'm still in touch today with. That's pretty amazing. And some persons I remember when I was in Ecuador, 2001, 2002, I had there was I guess Ecuadorian American that had lived in the U.S., but he was also in Ecuador, and he was helping us in his spare time as a language teacher. And he was trying to go to immigrate to Italy, and I was giving him some Italian classes while he was giving the classes. And a couple of years later, he immigrated to Italy, and he opened a little school, a little bit like the one I had, like the one you have. It's called Speak and Learn in Milano. And I met him about 5-6 years ago, and he said, you know, the time that we spent there with you, it was so life-changing that, you know, you were an inspiration for me. I went away and I did the same footprint, and I don't want it to be big. I believe in the small classes, 4 or 5 students max, and it really works. It's the only way, I think, the most effective way to make people learn. It's not the only way, but it's the most effective way to make people learn. So
I even get goosebumps when you say this. That's amazing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
That's it. So it's a beautiful thing.
Definitely.
Beautiful thing. I imagine all the people, they stay with local host families. They're not going to be staying on their own. They're going to stay locally with host families.
So it's not really with families, because with families, it always depends. And a lot of families are also busy. They're going to stay in houses that are very mixed in terms of nationalities, but also many Mexicans.
Okay.
It could also be people from South America. It could also be people from Spain. It's very, very international. But the most important is that they can practice the language as well as at home. But it's not like this typical like host family, because, well, the age, like basically any age or people at any age could do this program with us. It's not only for students. It could also be somebody who just needs a break from work or something like this. Could all be somebody even older, even like, I don't know, maybe a retired person or something like this. Because the way I stay is like very independent, but if you want to live with other people, there is like, for example, common spaces, for example, is the kitchen.
Okay, very modern. Yeah. Is Cholula very touristic?
Yeah, very touristic. As Anja said at the beginning of the meeting, it's one of the magical towns. We call it like that in Mexico. We have a few in the whole country. So it's a very, very touristic place, and also very, very rich with traditions and culture. So it's very interesting.
It's a very touristic place for Mexicans as well. I mean, there's international students who go to universities there, but it's like not at all a town such as Cancun or whatever, where you go.
It's a city that still has an authentic flavor.
Don't know it, for example. Yeah, so it's not that way that it's like everybody speaks English. Not at all. This is where you really have to speak English here, Spanish.
That's good.
And yeah. The local tourism.
That's it. We have a few minutes left. I was told by Anja that Nayeli is learning French. So
oui.
On peut changer en français juste pour s'amuser. Je veux pas te mettre au défi, Nayeli, s'il vous plaît. Si tu te sens pas confortable, tu peux nous répondre en anglais ou en espagnol. Il n'y a pas de problème.
On peut terminer en espagnol aussi.
Oui, on va terminer en espagnol.
Okay,
on va faire un affaire bilingue.
Español es mejor que francés ahora.
Ok. Vamos a dar un chance entonces, Nayeli.
Mais elle comprend tout, hein? Elle est juste un peu timide, elle comprend vraiment tout.
Oui. Elle a besoin de faire une immersion en français. Tu dois venir à Montréal, Nayeli. L'année passée, oui. C'est Anja qui est venue. C'est ton tour de venir à Montréal cette année.
Bien sûr.
Wow, yeah.
C'est ça. So, el español para mí es un idioma que me gusta mucho. Yo lo aprendí hace mucho tiempo. Pienso que para Tetsu
es bastante importante en tu vida, ¿no?
También es uno de los 5 idiomas. Sí, bastante. Y en la tuya también es uno de los 5 idiomas que él está enseñando a sus niños.
Sí.
So, tal vez en unos 20 años... Tal vez en unos 20 años Rami va a ser un profesor en Zalula para el verano o algo así. Sería una linda experiencia para él. El gringuito que luce asiático, pero que habla español.
La mezcla.
So, yo pienso que lo que están ofreciendo es algo de muy lindo y yo invito a la gente a participar a ese proyecto. ¿Tienen fechas? Do you have any dates? ¿Cuándo se va a hacer? ¿Va a ser en junio?
Yes, bueno, están para julio. Bueno, los alumnos pueden decidir 10 o 4 semanas. Puede ser las 2 primeras semanas, que sería del 2 al 12, o también del 16 al 26, o también todo el mes, o sea, del 2 al 26 de julio. Y esas son fechas, la verdad, muy, muy buenas, porque de todos modos, por lo menos en Canadá tienen vacaciones, ¿no? Y especialmente desde Montreal, los vuelos no son nada caros para ir a la ciudad de México. Entonces,
sí, eso iba a ser una de mis preguntas. El vuelo más directo es ir hasta la Ciudad de México y luego es un vuelo interno o es un bus. ¿Qué tan lejos es?
De 2 horas, son 2 horas nada más.
Ok, no son 24 horas pasando.
Para nada, no, son 2 horas para ir a la Ciudad de México y un vuelo ida y vuelta desde Montreal. En estas fechas son más o menos $350 o $400 americanos. No conozco bien.
Wow, no cuesta, es muy abordable, es muy abordable.
Claro, vale mucho la pena.
Cool. So to resume in English for those that maybe don't understand Spanish yet, but want to learn Spanish and they're interested in taking part in that Spanish immersion program. The closest airport to Cholula is Mexico City. It's a short flight from Montreal. In the summer, I guess flights you can get around $400 Canadian, more or less. It's better to book early because many people are going to go to Cholula. And we're also inviting Nayeli to come to Montreal so she can do a French immersion. So if not this year, you should take it into consideration for next year, Nayeli, but it would be a fun experience for you.
Yes, for sure. I'm pretty excited to learn French. It's quite complicated for me. It's quite hard, but I'm going to be very happy to visit you guys there. Really doing immersion.
For sure. So thank you very much, Anja and Nayeli. It was short notice because the other Anja, also from Germany, that we were supposed to talk with, there were some scheduling problems. So we found Anja, that's also from Germany, but lives in Mexico, to come online with us. And it was very fortuitous, very opportunistic for us to be able to get the chance to talk with you, because we had you scheduled for 3-4 weeks from now, but it's better to talk about it now. So either way, thank you very much. We invite people to go to the Spanish immersion program. We invite people to come to LangFest, which is going to be in Montreal from August 21st to 26th. And LangFest, very shortly, probably beginning of May or mid-May, we're going to be doing a visibility and crowdfunding campaign to raise awareness for our event. So might as well talk about it now too.
That's right.
Either way, thank you very much to all our listeners. Merci beaucoup à tous les personnes qui ont été ici avec nous. You'll be able to see this on our channels forever until we take it down. But in theory, they're there forever, either on the Facebook channel or on the LangFest YouTube channel. So this is for posterity. Maybe 1,000 years from now, like the pyramids of La Gran Pirámide, this Facebook Live will still be there. So thank you, everyone. Have a very good afternoon. Good Friday. Have a nice weekend.
Nos vemos en México.
Nos vemos en México.
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto.
Chao.
Bye.
Bye.